Thanks for your support as a channel member, Jack Edinburgh. As you may have been able to tell over the last few episodes, with the shirts not changing as regularly as you'd normally expect them to, I've recorded a few videos in advance, so I don't know if the 1,000 like per episode run is still going. I'm hoping it is. If it did stop in those few days where I wasn't mentioning it, wouldn't today be a lovely day to get back to 1,000 likes? Like I keep saying, it is the best way to support a video, a series, a channel, all that kind of stuff. So I would really, really appreciate if you drop a like on this video if you're enjoying the series so far, if you're just excited for today's video, or if you just want to help us get to 1,000 likes to keep the run going, / start the run back up again. We've got 2 massive Premier League games today. In about 20-25 minutes time, we'll know if we're in with a chance of winning the Premier League or not. Hello and welcome to part 9 of my FM20 beta save with Manchester United. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have the 2 biggest games of our Premier League season, certainly, maybe not of the season in total, depending on what happens in the Europa League tomorrow. But today we have Manchester City and Liverpool in the Premier League. I normally tell you what's happened since you were last with me, but we're at the business end of the season. You're seeing everything at the moment. What you really need to see is the Premier League. So we're playing the 2 teams who are above us, and we have a game in hand. So first up, Manchester City. If we beat them, firstly, we go level on games played with both Liverpool and Manchester City. Beating City puts us up to 79 points, so 1 point above them, still 7 points behind Liverpool, but we then play Liverpool next. Obviously, beating them, we then all go up to 34 games played, and we'd be 4 points behind Liverpool. So 4 points behind with 4 games still to play is still a tall order. So even if we win both of these games today, it's still tough to be to actually go on and win the Premier League. But one thing is for certain, if we do anything other than win both of these matches, we're not in a title race anymore. It's not a disaster if we fall out of the title race, because as we know from our Club Vision page, we only have to finish in a Champions League spot this season. We are looking good for that. We've already exceeded the FA Cup thing because we've made it to the final rather than the semi-final, and we've still got a Europa League semi-final to play, albeit probably the hardest Europa League semi-final you could imagine tomorrow against Bayern Munich. But if we win that, then we meet that criteria as well. So we're on course, but it would be nice to jump ahead of schedule and just go and win the Premier League. It would be very nice. And I say we're looking good for the Champions League regardless. If we were to lose both of these games today, we are opening the door for Arsenal and Chelsea behind us to potentially push us back down into 5th place. This season could still all fall apart. If we lose every match in this episode and tomorrow's episode, we'll end up in 5th place, having not hit the Europa League criteria, and then my job starts to look a little bit iffy. So it's make or break time, boys and girls, and this is the team we're putting out there for Manchester City. We've got De Gea in goal, a back 4 of Gaia, Lindelof, Tuanzebe and Wan-Bissaka, McTominay and Pogba in midfield, Rashford, Eriksen and Daniel James behind Edouard up front. I know that is probably raising a few questions, but we've got to keep our players fit for both games. And I mean, he's not been in great form over the season as a whole, but recently he's not been doing too badly. I'm thinking back to here. That's not that recent. He had a couple of good games back there, and then to be fair to him, he's not started a game since, so it probably is a little bit harsh to say he's not still in good form. But we've got games are coming thick and fast. We've just played Chelsea. 3 days later playing Man City. 3 days later playing Liverpool. 4 days later Bayern Munich. And then a week later we play Bayern Munich again with Southampton sandwiched in between. We can't play Gnabry every single time out on that right wing. So James is going to have to play one game. And of the 4 big games we've got, theoretically this is the easiest one. I hate to describe Man City that way because obviously they are a very good side who have got every right to expect to go out and beat us today. But, you know, if anything, it highlights a potential weakness in our squad in that we don't have a real top-level backup for Gnabry on that right-hand side. Go out there, carry on where you finished the last match. I'm going to passionately give that. Oh, I can't. I would have liked a passionate team talk today, but I can't do a passionate team talk that tells them what I want to tell them. So I'll stay calm. I'll show them that this isn't getting to me. Rashford and McTominay are feeling aggressive to start the match, which is interesting. And we almost scored a really early goal that had absolutely no build-up. That would have been a delightful way to start the match. We get a corner through Eriksen. We're 6 minutes in. But this is the first proper highlight we've seen, and it does fall to James, who's got space on this left-hand side, crossing towards Rashford, doesn't quite get there, and we play it all the way back to De Gea. And it worries me that highlight is still going when the ball's with our goalkeeper, because there's always the chance something disastrous could happen. But luckily, on that occasion, nothing disastrous happened. We've had 70% of the possession in the first 20 minutes against Manchester City. We're doing to City what we've done to so many other teams over the course of this season. And they're a team I wouldn't expect us to dominate possession against in this manner. Of course, what we do need to do is make sure we turn this possession dominance into a goal in the fairly near future, because they've definitely got goals in them. Rashford plays it across to James, who's got space to try and conjure something up, plays it out to Rashford on this left-hand side, who passes it on even further to Gaia, who then switches the play all the way back over the other side to Wan-Bissaka, and it's James in behind in a crossing position. He's not going to cross, so is he? He plays it back to Pogba, who plays it into Wan-Bissaka, who's now in a crossing position, plays it back to Pogba. I'm never not going to be frustrated by this. Wan-Bissaka finally crosses, and Edouard gets his 12th goal of the season. It was lovely. It was worked brilliantly in the end. It still hurts me watching us take our time and pick the perfect cross. The thing is, I'm slowly starting to accept we're very good at doing it. So I don't want to discourage the little tiki-taka tapping around nonsense. But goodness me, does it induce heart palpitations in me sometimes. Right, City trying for an immediate response. Wan-Bissaka's on a yellow card and is marking Raheem Sterling. This could be problematic. We might need to look into that little situation there. In fact, Wan-Bissaka trying to get in and close down their left back, who's on the overlap, and I don't want any last-ditch tackles out of him. I think we've got Dalot on the bench, and that might be a change that we make fairly early on in the second half. João Cancelo has just scored an equaliser for City. A pretty easy finish, really. The rest of the team did all the work for him, and he just had to do the tap-in. Interesting to see how far they're pushing on their fullbacks on both sides. They're really, really putting the pressure on with overlapping fullbacks. And De Gea was wrong-footed by De Bruyne's original shot. It takes a huge deflection and ends up back in the path of Cancelo, and at that point, it was just a tap-in from outside of the area, but a tap-in all the same. And it's back to 1-1. And now Sterling is in behind for City, and that would have been one of the greatest goals in the history of the world. Right, we are going to tell Wan-Bissaka to ease off on tackles. I want to get him through till half-time. We've got Dalot on the bench, and I think it probably wouldn't be the worst idea in the world to bring him on. Right, passionately, we've been the better team here. Keep doing what you're doing and we'll be fine. And I think, the problem is Wan-Bissaka's been one of our better players, but he's tiring and he's on a yellow card and Sterling is running past him constantly. So I think I am going to bring Dalot on just to protect Wan-Bissaka more than anything. So get Dalot on that right-hand side. I mean, Dalot's played a lot of games now this season. I don't think we've necessarily weakened our defence by making that change, because Dalot's progressed really rather nicely over the course of this season. And at least it gives us a spare yellow card to use for crunching in on Raheem Sterling if we need to. But City are starting to get into this game a little bit now, playing the ball around beautifully. Dalot intercepts zone. It's with Eriksen, who plays Daniel James in, who is in behind their defender here, but instead of squaring it to Edouard, who's in the middle, decides to have a shot. And I guess it's my own fault for having him on the inverted winger instruction, encourage him to tuck inside and be more direct, but I would have loved him to just put that into the path of the onrushing striker, who then has a tap-in of his own. And João Cancelo has just hit the post for City. If we get beaten by a couple of goals from their right back, I'm going to be very frustrated. Right, Pogba, let's get something going here again. But remember, a draw is absolutely no use for us if we want to win the league, if we want to be in a title race. So 1-1 doesn't get the job done. We are going to have to push on and try and win this game. City starting to make a few tactical switches as well. They're presumably thinking exactly the same thing. A draw is no good for either of us. Right, Lindelof is in a similar situation to what Wan-Bissaka was in. The only difference is we don't have another centre back to bring on. We do, however, have a left back to bring on for Gaia. We're really struggling with their wide players, so I think that's a sensible change to make. And I think the last change has to be Daniel James for Gnabry. If we've got to go on and win this game, I know it's a bit risky making all my substitutions with 20 minutes to go, but we need 10 minutes of passion. We need to win this football match. I'm tempted to up the tempo again, like we did in, I forget what game it was. We upped the tempo and it was reasonably effective. But I don't want to invite City onto us. I know upping the tempo is not going to do that, but the system we're playing now has been pretty successful over the course of the season. They've now taken off one of the wingers that we were so afraid of. But, I mean, bringing on Gabriel Jesus isn't necessarily going to make it any less likely for players to run at us and be fast and tricky. Eriksen forcing an excellent save out of their keeper. That would have been a very nice time to score, because then I don't have to make the decision I'm about to have to make to try and push on and win this game. Pogba's given the ball away to Aguero here, and City are on a counter-attack. And this is problematic. Ball played across. Dallo intercepts brilliantly. Right. We are going to have to say, look, we've got to push things on a little bit now, gents. So let's put the tempo up to that. That'll do. That's the change I want to make. More attacking, up the tempo a little bit. Get back to the pitch, confirm changes. I'm sure you didn't used to have to do it that way. But we're going for it. Let's demand more. Let's say we've got to get a goal. We've got to win. A draw and we're out of the title race. So is City, to be fair. A draw here hands the title to Liverpool, and that's exactly what we've done. Unless we beat Liverpool now and then they go on to have an absolute collapse, and City collapse as well, because remember, I guess we've got a game in hand on City still, but that probably wasn't enough. I mean, let's not all be too disappointed. Winning the league wasn't on the cards this year. We've already done better than expected to still be in with a chance of being in the race at this point of the season. And the fact we're not getting beaten by the likes of City in games like that. But Liverpool pretty much have it wrapped up now, I think. We shall see. Controversial decision time for Liverpool. Pogba starts from the bench. Goretzka comes in to play alongside McTominay. We've got Bayern Munich coming up in a couple of days and we're not in a title race anymore. It's not that I've fully holding my hands up and admitting defeat. Goretzka is still a world-class midfielder and does offer a slightly different kind of midfielder in there to Pogba. We're also bringing in Rodriguez and Gnabry for Eriksen and James, respectively, just to switch things up a little bit in this attack. But like I said before the previous match, we need to be rotating a little bit during these games, and it can only really be a little bit because we don't necessarily have enough quality in those areas to rotate as much as I would like. Right, assertively, we owe Liverpool. There you go. We owe Liverpool after what happened last match. That's motivated a few people. Let's go out there and show them what we owe them. Look at me rhyming. How clever. Right, I don't like the fact we've had a kick-off highlight. We don't normally get these like this anymore. Something stupid's about to happen because we're knocking the ball around a defence. Or something beautiful might be about to happen. No, something stupid. Liverpool have got the ball again. And this is terrifying. Wan-Bissaka heads it to Gnabry, who don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything. That was something stupid. I asked you not to do that. Oh, now Salah plays it across to Gomez on the overlap, who crosses in. Tuanzebe heads clear, but only as far as Jordan Henderson, who shoots from range. And it's over. And luckily, nothing stupid happened. We got away with it a little bit. But look, there's been some signings go on here at Liverpool. No, I mean, to be fair, obviously at Manchester United as well. But Liverpool have gone out and spent some money as well to help them go and win the Premier League. Certainly shouldn't be any reason for them to play Fabinho at centre-back again like they did last time I played them. They seem to have an awful lot of defenders now. But we now have a highlight, and it's with Rodriguez. Plays it back to Gaia. Gaia trying to find somebody to pass to. Rodriguez is the man, plays it all the way across to Wan-Bissaka, who's got a lot of space to run into here and decides to have a shot, which is probably the wrong decision in that situation. We'll just get through this corner, and then there's other news to tell you about. Rodriguez with the corner, and it's headed clear, but only as far as Gnabry, who keeps the move going with a pass to Rodriguez. Cross comes in. No United shirts there. In fact, Rodriguez was offside from the original pass. But Arsenal earlier in the day won their game 4-0, which means as it stands right now, we are down to 4th place with just 1 point ahead of Chelsea. So thinking in terms of Champions League qualification, a draw, it's a weird reversal of situations from the last game. A draw would actually be okay today because it leaves us 1 point ahead of Chelsea with 4 games to play, one of which is against Chelsea. The last thing we want to do is lose and give them the advantage going into that game on the last day of the season. But as we're unlikely to win the league, a win would be nice because it's against Liverpool and it gets one over on them and it creates a little bit of doubt for the run-in. But even a win puts us to 80 points and them down to 80, so we'd be 6 points behind with 4 games to go. They would have to totally fall apart off the back of a defeat. I don't think that's likely. But Edouard's in behind here with a chance to put us 1-0 up. Tries to be fancy. I didn't sign that man to be fancy. I signed him to get into those positions and hit it really hard. But he didn't there. But we go again. Rodriguez back to Wan-Bissaka, who once again has picked up a yellow card. For goodness sake. Tuanzebe to McTominay to Tuanzebe again, all the way back to De Gea, who plays it very calmly to Lindelof, and he plays the ball that De Gea would have been expected to play over the top for Rashford to chase, and Rashford scores. I was not expecting that. This shows how much FM20 has already conditioned me with his one-on-ones. I was just thinking, yeah, Rashford's running at the keeper. He's going to do something like what Edouard did a minute ago. But no, it's the lovely ball over the top from Lindelof to play Rashford in. And he's not even running at full pelt, which is the other reason it didn't feel very threatening. But he put himself into a fantastic position. The keeper committed himself far too early, and Rashford's just slid it under him and put us 1-0 up on 55 minutes. And that is now how the league looks. We have that 6-point gap with 4 games to go, and we just need to hold this lead and hope Liverpool have that collapse. And you never know. A league title still feels very unlikely, but Gnabry's taken the ball off Van Dijk there, and my word. Right, we need to be making some changes after this corner, I think. Specifically, any fullbacks on bookings, because I hear Liverpool have rather useful wide players as well, just like Manchester City do. And once again, that's the second corner in this match where James Rodriguez has got himself offside like that. I don't know whether to blame him or the idiots passing to him. Right, Wan-Bissaka can come off for Dalot again. Who have we got who can come on? Eriksen. I mean, there's a lot of changes we could make going forward in that game and a lot of quality on the bench, but I think Christian Eriksen for Rodriguez is the man to come on and make the most immediate difference going forward. Not that we need a huge difference going forward, I guess. Liverpool, I think, have gone to a weird 3 at the back system. No, they haven't. It's just that's in a weird order. Milner's come on to play left back. What is this? What is happening here? That's not how that's supposed to look. Why have I not switched to my counter-attacking system yet? I hear you all cry. I agree. Probably shouldn't have brought Christian Eriksen on. Although we can shuffle things around in here and put McTominay back there. He can go, yeah, and then this works fine. Stop panicking. Have him doing that. Yeah, I need to set this system up so it's actually suiting the players that we've got and getting them into the roles that I normally have them in. But we'll do that. And then for our final change, we're going to bring on Anthony Martial to play up front. There's an argument to stick Rashford up front and Martial out wide because Rashford scored far more goals this season. But I committed at the start of the season to Martial being the striker and Rashford being the inside forward. I'd look an idiot if I changed now. Liverpool have gone to a direct passing style and are properly going for it in these last couple of minutes. We obviously have switched to our counter-attacking system. James Milner with a shot from miles out that De Gea tips over the crossbar. Liverpool have a corner on the 90th minute, but there are 3 additional minutes to play. Gnabry now, just run up the other end. I mean, that's fine. That works even better than running because it's Rashford with the opportunity to run and Gaya's on the overlap. And there is Gaya. Are we going to grab a breakaway goal here? Gaya gets the cross in from the byline and Martial heads just wide of the post. got to think if Edouard had still been on, we'd be 2-0 up at that point. But it doesn't matter because we've beaten Liverpool. And if only we could have done that against Manchester City, then we could have really been in a title fight. With 4 matches left, we're 6 points behind. It seems really unlikely. Who has everybody got still to play? We're not even going to be looking at the league tomorrow. Tomorrow is all about the Europa League again. But let's just look at the run-in. So, next bunch of matches where we both play. Liverpool play Everton. Everton have just beaten Liverpool in the FA Cup semi-final. They're not doing great in the league, but we are playing Everton in the cup final in a couple of weeks. So Everton, either Liverpool go in looking for revenge, or Everton are going to see a wounded animal and go and beat them again. I mean, we need a favour from Everton there. And while that's going on, the next day, no, not the next day. When do we play a football match? We play Southampton, who are rubbish. So hopefully we win there. Liverpool play Brighton, who are rubbish. They're not slipping up there. And then we play Watford. It's Football Manager. Watford are always good. And then we go into us against Palace, who will already be relegated by them probably. Liverpool play I've missed a Liverpool game somewhere. But then on the last day, Liverpool play Bournemouth and we play Chelsea. That Chelsea game is massive. That's a harder game than anything Liverpool have got. I mean, if you were going to bet on this, you would still very strongly bet on Liverpool. But weirder things have happened in Football Manager over the years. We're not out of it completely yet. And next season, we just need to work on changing that statistic into that one. And we'll be in with a much better shot of it. But tomorrow, we're not looking at Medical Centre. Tomorrow, they need to fix this so you don't have to scroll it every time. Bayern Munich, both legs, tomorrow. Let's book a second final. Because then even if we don't win the league, we'll have a couple of finals to make ourselves feel better at the end. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.